Record. Yeah. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Monday Nights with Dannie Stewart. I am your host, Dannie Stewart, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who liked the Facebook page, follow me on Twitter. I did create a Twitter and a Facebook page for the official updates of everything that's going on with this show. So if you want to follow up with everything that's going on in the show, the Facebook page is Monday Nights with Dannie Stewart. And the Twitter is at Monday Nights WDS. That's me. And it has a profile picture of me and all that good stuff. So you can follow Twitter, like the page, all of that good stuff, and to keep up with the updates that are coming up. So here on the NYPS network, I have found out that my show is now sponsored by Lyric, and Lyric is a music app brought to you by the NYPS that streams music for up and coming LGBTQ artists. So you can download Lyric, go to www.nypsnetwork.com, find the link, and go through all the steps to download Lyric and check out some of the music that's on there. Really good music, actually. I've been listening to some songs, not all of them, but I've gotten to listen to some real good stuff on there. So hopefully I can catch up on the rest of it. But anyway, now that the formalities are out of the way, I'm just going to get right into it. Today's show is not going to flow as usually as most of the shows do because some of the topics are just a little bit all over the place. The first thing I want to tackle is the victorious sit-in that the Democrats pulled at the House in Washington. And I actually just logged on to catch an update of it, and it recently ended after 25 and a half hours. They went into the chambers and sat down on the floor. And, some of us have been seeing different pictures of them sitting on the floor, taking selfies, going throughout social media, things like that. But it was all for gun control. And I've discussed this in class as well. Well, my instructor has discussed it. We really don't have open discussions with her. But she's been bringing it up that about 90% or the vast majority of Americans feel that there should be some gun control laws or some form of gun control enforced by the United States as a whole, not from state to state, but this should come from DC down to every single state. And in light of the recent tragedy in Orlando, the Democrats have said enough is enough. You Republicans, we're just going to sit in and you're going to bring this to a vote. And so it was all about bringing those gun control laws to a vote so that something can be done. Even if what's proposed is rewritten, something needs to be done. And I agree to a certain extent because no matter what you do, there's always going to be some loophole. There's always going to be some way that someone goes around it. Just, let's take marijuana, for example. Not saying that anything's wrong with anyone that smokes, but marijuana is illegal in the majority of the states in the United States. Yet there are numerous ways that people get it and use it every single day. I know because I know people that do it. So, and all ends of the spectrum, from people that grow it to people that sell it, people that use it. I just know people, So it's illegal mainly because the government cannot tax it. There's no way that they can tax it to make money off of it and, register it under commerce. So with that being said, it's illegal to use it recreationally. Medicinally, it's become taxed, but recreationally, no, because the government cannot manufacture and use it, or, manufacturers can't. It's just not something that's widely manufactured that people are going to go and buy from corporations to use when you got, a cousin or a friend down the block that grow it, right there, wherever, and you can get it from them. So it's really a sketchy business, but the basis of what I'm saying is it's all about money. And although the majority of people in America feel that there should be some gun control laws, there is a minority that is making hella money off of gun sales and accessories for guns and things like that that you find in gun shops. So it all boils down to how much money is being made, and the gun industry booms every time that gun control laws come up. where I bought my gun. I'm a gun owner, and I also have my permit to conceal here in the state of Florida. And a lot of states are reciprocal states, so you may as well say in other states too. But I got my permit to conceal here in Florida, and when I was in the gun shop buying my gun, the guy asked me how much ammo do I want. And I was like, well, I don't plan on using it that often. I haven't even gone back to the gun range actually, but I don't plan on using it that often. I have not used it. I haven't even, discharged anything yet from it. And although I do travel with it everywhere that well, not everywhere I go, but most places that I go with it. It's with me somewhere. So, but at any rate, he told me, make sure that you stock up on ammo because every time that gun control comes up, um, I sell out. And they have to order probably like 2 and 3 trucks where they can just, usually do like one shipment every 2 weeks or, something like that. They have to double up, sometimes triple up on the ammo that they keep in the gun shop because people go in and like, oh, we're gonna make it harder, it's gonna be more expensive. Let me buy it while it's cheap. So just a word of advice for you all to protect yourselves from, like I said, from terrorism, and I said this on the post, from terrorism that is domestic and foreign, which is, I took that from the president's oath and from the oath of some other officials in the national government from terrorism that is both domestic and foreign. Arm yourselves. It's nothing wrong with having a gun. Guns are not evil. A gun left in the room by itself cannot do anything to anyone. A gun left alone and not touched by another person with 50 people in the room still won't do anything. It takes an evil person to do evil things with a weapon like that. So to protect yourselves from evil people. Let's level the playing field. And one of my good friends who's sitting in my living room right now, when we were discussing it, she told me, she was like, her biggest thing with what happened in Orlando was that no one was able to protect themselves and no one was able to fire back at the guy. When they left the club, someone could have ran to their car, got their gun, and possibly helped some of those other people get out by going in and shooting him. So it's a really big thing. It's very important to arm yourselves or at least know something about a gun. But I really suggest that you all go find out what it takes to get a permit to conceal in your respective states. Go about doing it. Learn something about a gun, and even if you never go get one, you still know something. You're still certified to conceal one. At any rate, the Democrats did they walked out victorious, which is a very great thing. And the biggest issue was that someone that had been barred from flying, because the culprit, he was barred from flying. He had been investigated by the FBI 2 times and actually been interrogated by them 2 times. And yet he was still able to either by his own devices of going into a gun store and buying one, presenting his own ID, or by coercing someone else to go in and buy the gun and the ammunition and things like that for him, he was able to obtain those things. And for me, that's where I find the issue. Somebody that has been, if you're not able to walk through the airport, present your ID, and fly in America, you should not be able to, and no one with any type of relation to you should be able to go and arm themselves. Not like that with an assault rifle or anything like that. But there should be some extensive background checking. Like if the the FBI were to investigate me for some type of domestic terrorism, my friends that I keep in contact with every single day, my family, those people should not be able to just walk in and go and buy assault rifles and ammunition and body armor and all the other things they want to from the gun. So I would feel that they should be investigated as well, even if I know that they have nothing to do with whatever it is that I've been investigated with. I just feel like those are the proper precautions that the FBI and other officials that are here to protect us should be doing. So that's really what it's all about. And I'm very glad that the Democrats did walk out victorious. So now there is some pressure on Capitol Hill to follow up with the shooting that took place in Orlando. And I do hope that something positive comes out of it. Hopefully, they don't make it too hard for citizens who just wish to go and arm themselves. I hope they don't make it too hard for them to go arm themselves. However, something needs to be done so that the background checks are more extensive. There is a longer waiting period. You know, activities from day to day are monitored, something like that, so that we can try and keep a handle on this stuff because it's really getting ridiculous. And not saying that this is any type of gun control is going to solve the problem, but it can help alleviate the worry and the stress of leaving your house and going out to a nightclub or going to a bar or just going for a walk in a park and being attacked by some lunatic because of whatever reason, be it that he's upset because his native country is being bombed by America, or that he just had a bad day and it started raining on him. It doesn't matter. No one deserves to die because of someone else's prejudice or someone else's mental misfortunes. Um, so that's a really good thing. A little heavy. We're starting out a little heavy, but it's a good thing. So I happened to stumble across this article, which was really interesting, of Miss Missouri. The current Miss Missouri is the first Miss Missouri to be crowned, and she is openly gay. Um, Her name is Erin O'Flaherty, and she's an openly gay woman, and she's crowned Miss Missouri of 2016. So that's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. Um, Hopefully we get a trans Miss someone or somewhere pretty soon, but I am very proud of her, you know, making strides in the gay community. So congratulations to you, Miss Missouri. Um, and you look beautiful in this picture as well. Looking at the article, y'all. She looks really pretty. So anyway, so now I want to tackle this picture that I've been seeing of it's recently Father's Day passed. Father's Day was Sunday, the 19th. Sunday was the 19th. So Father's Day just passed, and this picture has gone viral. I know most of you all have seen it. I've seen it several times, and I've commented on it several times. I haven't shared it yet, but I've commented on it. And I read some very distasteful comments. And not distasteful as in I just don't agree with them, but distasteful as in these people are really ignorant to say something like that. The picture that I'm describing, which most of you probably already know, but I'm going to describe it anyway. There's there's an older man. He's sitting, and then there's a little boy in his lap, and there's a middle-aged guy standing in front of them, and the older man is kissing his son on the forehead, and the middle-aged guy is kissing his son who's sitting in his father's lap. So you have three generations of men in this picture. And to me, it shows a beautiful connection of love, strength, support, you know, familial ties, tradition. All of that stuff is being passed down, you know, in a symbol, you know, they're kissing each other. And the forehead kiss is a very intimate kiss. To me, it's more intimate than kissing someone on the lips, honestly. To me, a forehead kiss is saying, you're the most special person to me. There's nothing about you I don't love. I love you unconditionally, and unconditionally meaning that I love every single thing about you, even the stuff that gets on my nerves. Even when the times that you're aggravating me, the times I just want to hurl some at your head, I love you. I will do anything for you. To me, a forehead kiss is telling me that I mean so much to you that you will put your life on the line for me without a second guess, without a second thought. And I say that because if I kiss someone on the forehead, that's what it means. That's what I'm trying to say to them. That's what my kiss on the forehead means to someone else. So that's why it says that to me. That's the ultimate kiss, the ultimate sign of love, affection, respect, protection, anything like that. Any positive emotion or affection that you can show, I feel, is conveyed through kissing someone on their forehead. Because the forehead is a very sensitive area anyway, especially in the African culture. Um, at any rate, though, I was reading some of the comments, and some guys like, oh my God, they're gay. That's gay. I ain't letting no man kiss me. Whether it be my daddy or this or that, all that other stuff. And it's not so much even that, you know, gay is being used in a derogatory manner again that I found an issue with it. I find an issue with men who find kissing or showing any form of affection as negative. And like I was saying in last week's episode, the desensitization of Americanism and the American life and all of that other stuff that society pushes on us, this is another one of those moments where men need to desensitize themselves from this idea of hypermasculinity, which means that we can't show affection outside of dapping each other up and bumping shoulders. I can't walk up to another man and embrace him in both of my arms and tell him that I love him in public without us being, in a deeper relationship than, you know, just being friends or brothers or anything like that. And then even with some of them, that's the only excuse, or it's followed up by no homo. These are the things that trouble me, because those are the same men that go and have children, and there are two possibilities out of that. They have children and they don't care for them. So you're out doing your thing while you have, 4 and 5 kids that have come from you, and they don't see you, they don't know you. You're not taking care of them because you're too selfish to put yourself aside. You're actually too young in the mind to put yourself aside and say, hey, I have responsibilities I need to take care of. Because if I don't raise my child, someone else will. If I don't pass along to them all of the virtues that were given to me, granted, some virtues were passed on to you, someone else is going to do it. Someone else is going to do my job that I set myself up to do anyway. And then you have the ones that have children and they raise them with this mindset of, if I'm to be a man, I can't show any type of emotion. I need to be physically aggressive. And if I'm not aggressive, I'm weak. If I show emotion, I'm weak. And to me, that's not what being a man is about. That is not in any way, shape, or form being a man. I've seen my uncle cry, drunk and sober. Several of my uncles, actually, I've seen them cry drunk and sober. And not just at funerals. But for them to, in my eyes, show that emotion shows A, that they're human. B, that there is some level of care and that they do care and they have a heart. And C, it shows me that it's okay to process emotions and then display those emotions amongst people, be it people that you know, people that you don't know. And then furthermore, just experiencing life as an adult, it's healthy to deal with your emotions in a constructive manner so that they don't well up inside of you and manifest into something physical like heart problems or blood pressure problems or cancer or anything like that. Deterioration of the brain, because holding on to emotions, not processing them, and not dealing with them can adversely affect your health and cut your longevity. It does happen. I kid you not. I study this stuff in my psychology classes all the time. I just took abnormal psychology. I passed it with an A. I know this stuff. This is what I've read, and there are studies out there. And just knowing people and seeing how some people live and all of the problems that they have in life with their bodies and their health, I see it all the time. So it's important, especially for men, to understand your emotions and then learn to articulate your emotions to whomever, be it a close friend, um, be it a loved one, a spouse. Be able to articulate those emotions so that someone can help you, because it's okay to let someone else care for you. And then just stepping out of the hyper masculinity thing, it's okay to let people do things for you, care for you, buy things for you, stuff like that. And my best friend in Taurus, I was just talking about this with him earlier this week. Um, Sometimes us being so independent and not caring or dealing with other people, we can block not only our blessings, but other people's blessings because we don't let them do things for us out of the kindness and the goodness of their heart. Sometimes the things that people will do and can do for us are the ways that they tithe back into or give back into the kingdom, and they get their blessings from that. And so you never know the role that you're playing in life in allowing or blocking someone else's blessings. So don't be afraid to let people do things for you. Somebody try to offer you money or something like that, and maybe you have it, maybe you like, okay, I'm just gonna spend this on anything anyway. You know, if it was something that was given to you, and I actually did this, a lady gave me, I think it was $2 or $3 at work one day just for helping her. She needed some plants and some things for her yard. And so she had a bunch of questions and she just kept saying, I know I'm aggravating you. I apologize, but I got one more question. And those one more questions added up to about 10 to 15 more questions. But like I told her, I'd rather you ask me every question that you have now than get home and wonder and not know. And, you end up killing the plant that you buy. And instead of coming back and returning it because it's like, oh, well, it was only $5, that's a waste of your money. So now you have this bag of potting mix, this pot that you went and bought, two or three different plants, all of that. You've wasted your money. Whereas you can ask me everything that you need to ask while you're here at the store. I can answer it to the best of my ability or tell you where you can find information on this stuff. And then from there, you can go home and give it the best try that you have, armed with all of the information that you've asked for, and probably then some. And so I didn't mind. She was a really nice lady. And once I was done, helping her and she was getting ready to leave, she reached in her purse. She was paying for her stuff. And as I was walking back by her, she said, come here. And so I thought she had another question. I said, yes, ma'am, what is it this time? And she reached over, she grabbed my hand, and she put $3 in it. And she said, that's for being so sweet to me. And she left the store. And I wanted to give it back to her. But one of my coworkers that was with me, she's like, don't do that. And she said, what you do is you use that money to bless somebody else. So take that money, give it to a homeless person, buy somebody something with it, do whatever it is that you feel that you should do, tithe it, whatever, but use it to bless somebody else. And so what I did was I actually rode around with that money for about 2 weeks in my car. I didn't use it for anything. I didn't use it for gas, none of that. I kid you not, I used that money to give to a homeless person. And it seemed like then, when I had the money to give to a homeless person, none of them were on the corners that they used to be on. I actually had to look for them. I was like, God, where did they go? But I was actually able to find one after 2 weeks of riding around with that money in my console. And I think that was the Lord testing me to see if I was going to do it or not. But I finally found a homeless guy. He was standing on the corner. You know how they do. And so I rode up next to him and I wound the window down and I gave him those same $3 that that lady gave me. And it's stuff like that that, you never know how it's gonna come back to you. You never ever know. But it's things like that that you should use to, you know, you always sow into someone else. So never block people from helping you or being in, your intimacy, things like that. Because when you do, you never experience the most that you can out of life. And to me, the best things in life really are there's no monetary value on it. The hugs that you can get from people. For me, I'm a big person on getting hugs, especially when I see some friends that I haven't seen in a very long time. To me, the best hugs are when someone picks me up off my feet, as embarrassed as I am when it happens, but I really, really love those hugs. It's like, oh my God. To me, they're saying, I haven't seen you in so long. I really, really love you. Oh my gosh. So it's just like, oh my gosh, put me down, put me down. They just like, no, all that good stuff. But I really like those hugs, and I just, embracing people, loving people, being able to sit down and just have those random talks about life and, all types of foolishness and delusions. Me and my friends talk about all types of crazy stuff when we together. And to me, those are the best moments ever. It's just like no judgment zone. You can say whatever you want to out your mouth, and no one takes it the wrong way. No one is offended. We poke fun at each other all the time. So to me, those are the best things in life. And there's no way you can experience that if you are afraid to be vulnerable and be open to people about how you feel, what you feel, anything like that. So from that picture and those comments, I really would like, those of you all who may be kind of closed and into yourselves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert or anything like that. But try and be open and trusting of people. And there are going to be people that betray your trust. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a fact of life. What it shows you is the signs of people who are not to be trusted, and the signs, and it teaches you the things that you look for in a friend and in a boyfriend and a girlfriend, potential husband, wife. It teaches you those things. So there's nothing wrong with being a good person, being a good friend, and people use you and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you let them continue to do it and you enable them. That's the issue. So don't be an enabler, but There's nothing wrong with trusting people and, being done wrong every once in a while because some people just ain't, you know what, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So anyway, moving on. And actually, that kind of flows into my next topic. So we do kind of have a little connection going on with this one. Um, so I was talking to this guy, and supposed to go see him this weekend, and suddenly or another, some reason or another, he just kind of disappeared. As in, I reached out to contact him, call, text, things like that. And well, really, I only text. I didn't even call because if he's not answering a text, I know he ain't gonna answer a call. So text him, and I got no response. So I changed my flight, and instead of going to where he is, I'm going to Houston, Texas. So yeah, actually, once I get through with this, I'm going to be heading on out. So I'll be in Houston this weekend. But anyway, I say all of that to say this. There are times in your life where you meet people that you really, really like. They could be fine as all get out, I mean, just fine. Like, ooh, I'll drink your bath water. You could catch a fish without a hook, fine. But when they don't treat you right, or when you just notice certain things that to you are red flags, don't try and make them out to be somebody that they're not. Don't look at their potential as what they will be. Take everything that you see for what it is. Take it all in for what it is. Um, don't don't settle. Don't make yourself settle just because you feel like, oh well, he fine, so whatever. No. Mm-mm. First off, no man or woman makes your property value as who you are any more or less. That's the first thing. Your value is what it is, and it's more so what you state that it is, just by how you demand to be treated by anyone who wishes to date you. So that's the first thing. Second off, no matter how fine they are, nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to treat anybody in any way, shape, or form that is disrespectful or unbecoming of treating any person or living creature. And when I say that, I mean that if you're dating someone and they feel like you should text them all the time and you should call them all the time and everything has to be all about them and it's all on their schedule and their timing, no. They shouldn't talk down to you. They should not mistreat you as in, making you feel less than. None of that. Because when you're dating people, this is that's the stage in which the person shows you that you are of some value to them and that they see you as a very, very important, I don't want to say commodity to make people sound like products, but you're a very important factor. That sounds better. An important factor in their life. You bring something to them that adds to the everything that's pleasant in their life and everything that they love. So if they're not doing right in the dating stage, don't make excuses and end up in this long-term relationship or even worse, a marriage after you've noticed all of these issues and these red flags and this and that and that and that and that. You noticed all this stuff. Don't let it become a long-term issue later on down the line when you subjected yourself to cycles of misery and depression and maybe there's a stint of happiness here and there for a little while and then it goes right back to the same old and you're not being fulfilled in every aspect that you should be fulfilled as a person in a relationship or dating someone and you're trying to figure out why has been in front of you since the day that you realized that he liked to yell at you and cuss you out or that she liked to slap you across your head. That's the why. So with my situation, I've decided as much as I really like the guy, that this is the last time that's going to happen. Mind you, it's happened a couple times before where we were supposed to see each other and he just disappeared the week prior to that day or leading up to that day. And I didn't hear anything from him for about a couple months and then poof, he's, oh, I miss you. Or I would get upset and I would send him a little mean text or something like that. or I'm listening to the wrong song and I start thinking about him and I message him and then we start talking. But this is what the third time that I've been stood up. And so it's just not going to happen again. It's not. And I'm not saying that I just got the boys lined up and falling over each other, but I mean, there are other people out there that I could be dating, and I'm wasting my time with somebody that, as I've told him, I don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow or next week or next month. So why waste your time wandering and trying to figure it out and all that other stuff? And even if you do go through a period where ain't nobody trying to talk to you, ain't nobody trying to hit you up, none of that, your phone be dry unless it's your mama calling or your daddy bothering you or whoever. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. I say this all the time. I know I've said it before on the show. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. Do the things you want to do. My friends tease me all the time now because I'm always going somewhere. I'm single, young. I can do that, you know. I budget my money so I can go when I want to. Cheap flights, cheap travel. That's my way. So that's just what I do. And I really commend to you all to get out and do the things you want to do. If you want to go to every single park in the city and that's your goal, find them parks and go to one every day or go to one, and do the things that you like to do. I like to travel to enjoy the different culture. Like I said in the last episode, I like to enjoy culture from different places. I like to eat, so eating is another big thing too. So those are the things that I enjoy doing. So get out, travel, do the things that you really want to do in life and the things that you enjoy. Um, but anyway, that's really all that I have for this episode. I know it's a little bit shorter than the others, but I didn't have a whole lot. Not I didn't have a whole lot this week. I'm still kind of in my icky morning period of the tragedy in Orlando, so my mind hasn't been going as much as it usually does because usually I find myself thinking about that, and I see articles and different posts and things about it, so I just kind of I've been dealing with it the best way that I know how. And it hasn't been all bad. I haven't cried in about a week, I think. But I'm doing a lot better than I was. So again, for those of you that are out there that may be suffering from the tragedy, I do give you all my deepest condolences. Big ups to all of the supporters in Orlando who are going and using themselves as human shields to block the protesters and the people coming and preaching hate, although they're saying that they're doing it in the name of God, in the name of a church. I really respect you all for that. Thank you all so much on behalf of people that hurt and people that know what it is to lose a loved one, be it a tragedy or be it, some type of natural cause. Thank you so much because it definitely means the world to all of those that are mourning that they don't have to hear someone preaching condemnation when their loved one is gone and they have yet to even figure out how they're going to pick up the pieces of their life and continue on because they're missing someone due to some form of tragedy. So thank you all so much for that. For everyone that's donated and supported across the country and across the world, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I may not be one of those people, but it means a lot to them. I can tell you it means a lot to them to see so many people rally for their cause. Those 49 people are no longer here and they have a slew of loved ones, some of which I follow on Facebook and on Instagram, and they are still mourning them to this day, and they're probably going to be mourning them for a couple years. So thank you all so much just for everything that you've been doing. It really means a lot to them, and it means a lot to me, although I didn't know anyone personally. But it just really restores your faith in humanity. It really does. So anyway, in the meantime, in between time, I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. If I hope you did enjoy your Monday. If you did not enjoy your Monday, well, Tuesday is tomorrow and Wednesday is a day away, which means that Thursday and Friday are the only 2 days that separate you from your weekend. So hope you all get the hump day on a good, on a good note. Start out every single day on a good note, and even if it turns sour, look for those silver linings in your clouds, and you'll have a great day. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. I will be dropping an exclusive interview with a very hot guest. I've been promoting for it a little bit. I was able to go to Atlanta last weekend and I got an exclusive interview with Romance, one of the hottest, my favorite, but he's one of the hottest adult entertainers. So hopefully you all will be tuned in for that. That will be dropping July 18th. So be tuned in for that. I might drop a clip here and there just so that you all can see, but I had a great time with him. So you all get to see some of that great time, and then the rest of it was at opera. So if you weren't at the club, you missed it. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy yourselves, be loved, be light, be all things great. Peace, love, and blessings, everybody.